everyone, welcome to my kitchen. Bienvenidos a mi cocina. It's been a while since I've done a video, so I decided to do a video today to show you how I like to make my Cuban red beans. I'm going to be pressure cooking my beans, so I'm not going to soak them. But if you're going to cook them on the stovetop, you should soak them overnight. One of the reasons why people soak their beans is to soften them, because beans are really tough and hard. But if you're using a pressure cooker, you don't need to soak them. You can skip that step. For the ingredients, I'm using 1 cup of small red kidney beans, 3 culantro leaves, also known as recao. I'm using some dry seasoning, sazon and sazon completa, which are homemade seasonings. I'm using cumin, oregano, salt, and pepper, and 2 bay leaves. Along with that, I'm using 1 onion. I'm using 3 garlic cloves, some green pepper. I'm using ají cachucha, which are these small peppers right here. They're sweet Caribbean peppers. I'm also using 3 ounces of tomato sauce. You can use tomato paste if you prefer. I'm using some sugar, about 1 teaspoon. Along with that, I'm using some pork. I'm using 2 small Spanish chorizo sausages. And along with that, I'm using calabaza, or pumpkin in English, and 2 boniato, or patata in Spanish, also known as Caribbean sweet potatoes. And lastly, I'm using wine and sugar for extra flavor, and I'm using vinegar to help with the bloating that beans give you. When you're using a pressure cooker, you can skip soaking the beans overnight. To my 1 cup of beans, I'm adding 3 cups of water. Now, every pressure cooker is different, so you may have to add a little bit less water in your pressure cooker, or you may have to add a little bit more water to your pressure cooker, depending on the size of it. Next, I'm going to add 1 bay leaf, 1/4 of a green pepper, and I'm going to add 1/2 of an onion. And that's basically just to flavor my water. And lastly, I'm going to add some olive oil, and that's to cut down the foaminess from the beans. So now I'm going to set my pressure cooker to 30 minutes, and every pressure cooker is different, so you may have to either increase the time or decrease the time, depending on what type of pressure cooker you have. Sofrito is the foundation to all Spanish and Latino dishes. It comprises of green peppers, onion, and garlic. One thing about sofrito is everybody has their own version. There's no right or wrong way to make sofrito. Cuban sofrito can be either simple or elaborate. A simple sofrito is basically what you see here with peppers, onions, and garlic. And then the more elaborate sofrito is sofrito criollo or salsa criolla, which is with wine, tomato sauce, bay leaf, culantro, peppers, ají cachuchas, which are Caribbean peppers, and ham or bacon or any type of pork. Sometimes Cuban cooking can be kind of unhealthy because there's a lot of frying, a lot of grease, a lot of pork. And a healthier way to make beans, instead of putting pork in it, is you can use smoked turkey, or that's kind of salty, but it's a little healthier than pork. Or you can also use ham flavoring. So now I'm going to add in my chorizo sausage, and then my peppers, onion, and garlic. And I'm just going to saute the onions and the peppers until they're soft, and then add my tomato sauce and seasoning in. Next, I'm going to add in my culantro, or the other name is recao. And in English, it's called spiny cilantro. Now for my dry seasoning, I'm adding in sazon completa and sazon with achote. They both are homemade, and if you click the link above, you will see the video, or you can wait to the end of the video and click the video cards at the end, and they'll take you right to my videos. I'm also adding in 1 teaspoon of oregano, 1 teaspoon of cumin. I'm adding in salt and pepper. And to tie everything together, I'm adding 3 ounces of tomato sauce. You can use tomato paste if you prefer. Now I'm just checking the beans to see if they're soft enough. And if they are soft, which they are, I'm going to start thickening up my broth by mashing the beans up in the pot. You can take some of the beans out if you prefer and mash them in a bowl, or you can just use a potato masher and mash them in a pot. Now when you mash them, you don't want to mash them to a puree. You want to just mash some of the beans so you can thicken the broth. You want to still have some beans left so that you can enjoy. If your bean broth is still watery after you mash them, don't worry, because as you continue to cook the beans, the broth will thicken up. Next, I'm going to add the calabaza and the boniato in the pot. And the reason why I added them last is because they cook really fast, and I don't want them to be too mushy. These will also help you thicken your bean broth. And finally, we can add our sofrito to the beans to give our beans more sabor. And to finish the beans, I like to add the wine, the vinegar, and the sugar last. And the reason why I'm adding sugar to my beans is because I added tomato sauce, and sugar helps to cut the acidity to the tomato sauce. Cuban red beans can be eaten with rice as a side dish, or they can be eaten alone. As you can see, it's a full-course meal. Now, some people think that all Caribbean and Latino and Spanish dishes are the same, but they are not. Each country has their own flavor and their own ingredients. They may be similar, but they taste slightly different. If any of you are watching my video for the first time, thank you for stopping by. And if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up. I also have a playlist with other Cuban bean recipes that you can check out if you're interested. Before you leave this video, I just want to make an announcement that I have a new Facebook group called Cooking the Cuban Way. So stop by if you're interested and check it out. I'll leave all my links in the description box. Thanks for watching. Bye-bye.